What's up, Steelers Nation? The Pittsburgh Steelers are hard at work, preparing to make moves that will strengthen their roster for the 2025 season. You already know that when the black and gold are making waves, we're here to break it all down for you. But before we dive in, do us a solid, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps us bring you the best Steelers content all year long. Now, let's get into it. So, here's a big question floating around. Could Sam Darnold be a sleeper pick for the Steelers at quarterback? This buzz is coming from none other than ESPN's Jeremy Fowler, who suggests that while everyone's focused on names like Justin Fields and Russell Wilson, Pittsburgh might be keeping an eye on another potential option, Darnold. Now, let's be real. Darnold isn't exactly the mobile quarterback that Mike Tomlin typically loves, but he showed some promise in 2024, aside from the final few games. So, should we take this rumor seriously? Let's break it down. Right now, all the signs point to either Fields or Wilson taking the reins for the Steelers in 2025. Adam Schefter even went as far as to predict that one of them will be starting. However, things can change quickly in the NFL, especially when free agency gets underway. With a bunch of teams eyeing both Fields and Wilson, Pittsburgh may need to consider other backup plans. Darnold, who spent 2024 with the Minnesota Vikings, could be one of those options. He's a former first-round pick with experience under his belt, and while his career has had its ups and downs, he's shown glimpses of being a solid QB. It's been reported that teams like the Giants, Raiders, and Titans are also in the mix for his services, but Fowler isn't ruling out Pittsburgh. So, is Darnold a legitimate option or just a long shot? For one, he'd likely come much cheaper than Fields or Wilson. If the Steelers decide not to break the bank on a QB and instead focus their resources on bolstering the roster elsewhere, Darnold could make sense as a cost-effective bridge QB. He's only 27, has experience, and wouldn't require a long-term commitment. However, there are some clear drawbacks. Darnold doesn't have the same mobility or playmaking ability that Fields brings, nor the veteran leadership or championship pedigree of Wilson. So the big question is, would Darnold be an upgrade over what Pittsburgh already has? General Manager Omar Khan has made it clear that securing a solid quarterback is Pittsburgh's top priority this offseason. This means every possible option is on the table, even if it's not the most obvious choice. The Steelers are still talking with Wilson's camp, and Fields remains a strong possibility depending on what the Bears decide to do. But if those options fall through, someone like Darnold could end up on the Steelers' radar. Meanwhile, Pittsburgh is also focusing on improving their offensive line, which has been a weak spot in recent years. Enter Dan Moore Jr., a player who has taken some heat for his inconsistent play, but recently got some unexpected support. Former Steelers linebacker Arthur Moats defended Moore on his podcast, The Arthur Moats Experience, arguing that while Moore hasn't been great, he has been reliable. Moats pointed out that Moore was a fourth-round pick who has started 66 games in the NFL. Longevity like that from a late-round pick is rare and in many cases seen as a success. But here's the issue. Moore's performance in 2024 was less than stellar. He led the league in sacks allowed, a stat no offensive lineman wants attached to their name. With the Steelers investing heavily in their offensive line in recent drafts, like first-round tackles Broderick Jones and Troy Fanew, it seems likely that Moore's time as a starter will come to an end soon. He's projected to hit free agency, and with Fanew healthy and Jones moving to his natural left tackle spot, Moore's days in Pittsburgh could be numbered. But Moats' defense of Moore raises an interesting question. Should we judge Moore more on his draft status and durability, or on his actual performance? Let us know what you think in the comments below. Looking ahead to the 2025 season, it seems almost certain that Pittsburgh will either bring in Russell Wilson or Justin Fields as the starting quarterback. But Fields appears to be the frontrunner for several reasons. For one, he comes at a lower price than Wilson. Secondly, his athleticism would add a whole new dimension to the offense, something that head coach Mike Tomlin and offensive coordinator Arthur Smith may want to build around. Fields' ability to extend plays and keep defenses guessing is an asset that Wilson, at this point in his career, just doesn't offer. But here's the twist. Does Fields even want to stay in Pittsburgh? The Steelers have reportedly shown some interest in Matthew Stafford, but Stafford made it clear he has zero interest in coming to Pittsburgh. That raises a tough question. Is Pittsburgh really an attractive destination for quarterbacks right now? Controversial Pittsburgh sports pundit Mark Madden certainly doesn't think so. In a recent piece for Tribune Review Sports, Madden made his position clear, suggesting that Fields should leave Pittsburgh. Madden argued that Fields would be better off in a system that allows him to run more, take risks, and be more like Lamar Jackson, a place where his playmaking abilities can shine. He suggested that staying in Pittsburgh would stunt Fields' growth, and that Fields needs an opportunity to accelerate his career, not just a job. Fields is 25 and at a crossroads in his career. He has the potential to be an electrifying playmaker, but does Pittsburgh offer the best environment for him to flourish? Perhaps a team like the New York Jets, rumored to be very interested in Fields, might be a better fit. They offer better weapons, a new coaching staff, and a system that might better suit his strengths. The Las Vegas Raiders are another team that could step in if the Steelers fail to lock Fields down before free agency. They're looking for a quarterback and could offer him the chance to be the centerpiece of their rebuild. So, what's the play here? Should the Steelers shell out to keep Fields? His market value is estimated around $64 million, an amount Pittsburgh could likely secure by offering just a little more. After all, they paid Mitch Trubisky more than that back in 2022, and we all know how that turned out. One thing's clear, Pittsburgh cannot afford to let Fields hit the open market. If he does, there's a real chance he could leave. And imagine the nightmare scenario of facing Fields in a different uniform in 2025. The Steelers are set to play the New York Jets this season, and if Fields ends up there, he could be running all over Pittsburgh's defense. So, Steelers Nation, there's a lot to think about. Could Sam Darnold actually be a serious quarterback option? Will the Steelers finally move on from Dan Moore Jr.? And what do you think of Arthur Moates' defense of Moore's tenure? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more Steelers content as we head into a crucial offseason for the black and gold. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.